Michelle Malika has not been able to accept the outcome of the July incident, and she filed a complaint with the State of Iowa Civil Rights Commission in August of 2013 over the matter, and named Linda and several other coworkers in the complaint. Not only has Michelle not had any problems with her coworkers, she was widely known as a good person who avoids conflicts and helps others resolve theirs. Michelle has statements from several people that attest to her character and moral values. Union Exhibits 1 through 14 are statements from personal acquaintances of Michelle. First one from Sarah Craig. I have known Michelle Malika for approximately 10 years. My first impression was that she was very personal, caring, and helpful. My first impression remains to this day. I will add that I'm a 72-year-old female, which says that Michelle is comfortable with any age. I say any age because my observation comes from seeing her interact with her grandchildren from birth up to preteen in age. She often goes out of her way to help someone in need. She says what she means, and she means what she says, and I would trust her with any secret I might wish to tell her. My name is Sarah Craig, a resident of Des Moines, and I'm retired after working 20 years for the Iowa legislature. The next one from a Barb Miller, Union Exhibit 3.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Are you going to read every one of these?
that was our intention.
Let's have an executive session.
Off the record? On the record.
To the union, we understand you have multiple documents, and we understand the significance of these documents. But what I would like to do, if there's a few of them you would like to read that you find that are more important than the others, we're going to read them all in an executive session. But in order to not belabor this hearing, I would ask that if there's a few that you would like to read, I'm good with it. If not, then let us know if that's not going to be acceptable to you.
Adrian Lynn, who's exhibit number 33, is a supervisor who hasn't worked for UPS since 2002. He has no known knowledge of how this situation is at UPS. He has been with the company over 14 years. He's quoting what he knows Michelle outside of work, the issues that we're having right now and that we're dealing with is what happens inside of work. Camille Rasmussen, which is exhibit number 34, she talks, everything she says in here talks about what Linda Bates is doing as far as how she's involved, but there's nothing that supports Michelle, and it just says that she talks about what she saw Linda Bates do. It doesn't really apply to Michelle's case. And 35 is the same way. It says, I've worked at UPS for over 15 years. The Smalls work area is fine until Linda came from the airport. Everyone in Smalls has a bad issue with her. It says Michelle's always been easy to get along with. And that's from Kelly Beach. Again, these people are down there. He's not citing anything as far as these folks are not involved with what's going on with Michelle and Linda, and that is the basis for this termination, is that these two ladies just cannot act professional in the workplace whatsoever.
I would like to say amen to that, because I believe the whole reasoning why I have not been terminated or why I've not been punished in any way or written up in any way is because I have people that have been interviewed down there, the supervisors of all the belts I've been to, and all the supervisors there will give you exemplary remarks about my work ethics and the way I work. I have done nothing wrong. I have people that will vouch for me, people that will tell you about my record, people I've worked with at the airport. Supervisors will attest to this. I could have gotten statements, but I guess I didn't know if I'd be allowed back in the building.
You kept mentioning a bunch of people that could vouch for you.
Yes.
Management and or co-workers. Is there any statements that you brought with you today in regards to that to
At one time I
defend
had,
your case?
at one time I had one from Kevin Shills, and I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. I trained him at the airport.
So you don't have any of those
I
with you?
don't have it with me, no. I didn't know if I'd be allowed back in the building, and I'm not sure I've got a current number on him. The supervisors of all the belts I've been to, the Kevin Shields, the supervisor who I trained at the airport, who will vouch for me.
Anything else you want to add?
I hope I covered it all. People that will tell you about my record, people I've worked with at the airport, the supervisor. It's been so many years, sorry, I'm getting older, but the manager I had at the airport, I know he's around here, I've seen him before that he would vouch for me because of my exemplary behavior at the airport.
The only person that has not been able to work and play with others is Michelle. And I just wanted to bring that point up.
I'll tell you where I'm at, Michelle. I personally, this shit she's doing, if it was me, I would just blow it off.
And
Who hit you?
Linda Bates, you know who hit me. You know who
No, I
hits me.
don't. Nobody's ever said that to me.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding at all.
Okay.
He told me I had cameras. After I heard that, I had a big sense of relief. They were gonna watch and they'd see it and they'd catch her doing this stuff.
You said you're stupid.
Dan Kelly, I told you that. When I came to you in May when the words came out of his mouth.
When did she hit you? Is what-
Where are these cameras that you guys allegedly have promised for over a year?
That promise was made originally by the HR manager before my tenure in security. At the time, there were no cameras in Smalls. In late November of 2013, a camera system was installed. I believe.
HR, you guys knew there were problems, right? I mean, she's up there asking about cameras, right?
Correct.
I mean, she's got issues that she's worried about. She wants to have physical cameras up there to watch some of this stuff. What was the deal with the cameras and why they didn't get put in? Or what was the holdup?
There's cameras in there, and I have worked through loss prevention with that issue as well. And Andrew has positioned some cameras, and to my understanding, it was the angle in which these cameras were positioned, and why I didn't pick up on some of the mat issues. They're positioned in a closer area. I guess it's the further away they are, the pixels aren't able to pick up on some of the closer interaction.
So there are cameras up there.
Correct.
Cameras are focused in the work area, not the position of the mat.
That's the hard part, Michelle, and I told you that before. We didn't have any cameras down there to see anything, and there was nobody else that saw it.
UPS doesn't want Michelle or anybody to have to deal with a unsafe workplace, and a workplace that's got hostility and discrimination. It needs to stop. It needs to stop, and that's why we're here.
Panel members, it is important to note that the HR manager was contacted by Michelle in order to fix the personality problems once and for all in the day sort.
The meeting happened on June 26th. It was at the request of Michelle Mollica.
And we said, enough's enough. We said, if we want to keep you all down there in the small store, because we know if we separate you, put in different parts of the building, that's not really a good decision either.
I first allowed Michelle to talk. I said, Michelle, you're the one that asked for the meeting. Why don't you start off by, talking about a few of your concerns here. She started to talk, and it became a very short meeting. As Joe mentioned, it was about a 6-minute meeting. Linda, I looked over at her, and she started to smile a little bit, I guess, and looked over at me. And then I said, Linda, hold on a second, let her talk. Okay, she didn't say anything. She didn't speak up by any means.
The meeting lasted all of 6 minutes as Michelle got up and left the meeting.
I did talk to Linda a little bit afterwards as well. I said, hey, what's going on down there? And it was, obviously you got different stories amongst different employees down in the small store, and there's different personalities. We all understand that.
Both employees, Michelle Mollica and Linda Bates, were present at the Michelle requested hearing on June 26, 2013.
Terra Park's next to me every now and again. I'm not intimidated by Terra Park next to me. Seriously.
What's Tara do on the side? Did she hit you? Did she kick you? Did she throw things at you? Did she cuss at you? Did she scream in your face?
Since the suspension that Michelle served due to the July 2013 incident with Linda Bates, there have been further cases of abuse by Linda against Michelle and others. On September 29, 2013, Michelle was hit by Linda Bates in the workplace. She informed the company of this and that there were 2 other witnesses to the incident, Jerry O'Connor and Terry Klein. The company investigated this incident, and later Tara Velema met with Michelle and informed her that the 2 witness statements they received supported Michelle's version of the events, but since Linda's account was different, there was nothing the company would do.
I don't know where she's hitting at, Michelle. I mean,
It doesn't matter.
It does, though.
No, it doesn't.
You guys didn't do anything to her for hitting me on the 29th.
The 29th.
September 29th, when she plowed into me, when she tried to knock me down. The girl that weighs 60 pounds more than me, half a foot taller than me.
We know what happened. It's on record. We have it. We know what happened. Michelle, I'll be honest, there was a lot of people interviewed, and
My 2 people that witnessed it, the only 2 people that witnessed it. A lot of people interviewed. Who else got interviewed?
well, that's my. Oh, well, Linda was asked. You were asked. Whoever you.
Linda
listed
lies.
Okay, but see, the interesting thing is, Michelle, it seems like your
How did I get
voices
fired?
always corroborate your story, and then Linda's is always the complete opposite. So how do you?
I'm sorry. I need
No,
you to get a
just-
copy.
I
No,
just
there's no excuse for her. No, don't try to make
Nobody's making an
excuses.
excuse for
You
her.
are.
No, I'm not making an
Yeah,
excuse.
you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Michelle, I'm just trying to tell you that I don't want
I'd-
you to think that people
I'd like-
weren't talked and discussed about it. But, it was brought up and then it was never really heard from again.
What about the 2 weeks later when she hit Sandy?
Same thing happened.
Oh, yeah. It didn't happen.
No, I didn't say
Did
that.
she hit you the other
I
day
didn't
out when,
say
when she
didn't happen.
parked or anything? I mean,
The company refused to take action on this verified incident, and as you will note in the Union Exhibit A, made no record of the complaint being filed, and did not keep any written documentation from the incident.
As anybody can attest, the area in Smalls when you go to break is a very small area. You walk past each other, either going one way or the other. It's very easy to brush up against somebody.
Michelle is a long-term employee who has not had problems with any other employees.